I'm going to start recording it now, but later on I'm going to kick it away. Would you like moving the button from?
Oh, sorry.
Because it's in the frame. Wait for a second for him to connect. We're back. Give us a few seconds, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The presentation is in Hebrew, most of it, but since we're talking about competitive intelligence, it's not matter. We'll be able to use it as it is in English. Anyway, the important thing is what we're recording.
Oh, you're recording the whole lecture?
Yeah.
Okay.
And after rebooting the computer, I have to reboot the keyboard as well. I don't know why. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're starting with a short lecture about what is competitive intelligence. What do you understand by the name competitive intelligence? Can you tell me your understandings? No? Business intelligence?
What, like, I don't.
Intelligence? Never mind, it's okay. Intelligence?
Just like knowing information.
Yeah, in the business world, we're referring to intelligence as all the set of knowledge and information that we're gathering from a customer, from a market, from a segment, from an activity. For example, in Israel, we are coming from the business of from the military, most of us. And every military activity, any operation, start with a very in-depth intelligence gathering. An excellent example for that is the capture of Osama bin Laden. It took the intelligence forces years and years to locate the specific building, home, city, and gather information about the family members, and even collect DNA from one of his sons. It's all intelligence. All this intelligence is then converted into an action plan, which delivers to the operation itself. So in business, before we're starting to work with professionals, before we're starting to do any business operations, such as marketing campaigns, such as penetration to a new market, such as launching a new product, we have to gather all the information that we can. So what we're going to be speaking today is about the competitive intelligence, which is the intelligence regarding our competitors. Okay? Feel free to stop me whenever you want if you have any questions on what you're talking about. I'm starting my presentation with a quote from Q, from James Bond. Have you seen the last James Bond? Okay, I think that's before that. That's Skyfall. That's not the last one. Q is the computer geek of James Bond, and he's saying something that I can make more damage with my laptop in my pajama before drinking the first cup of tea than you in a full year in the field. And the truth is that we're doing the same. I can gather more information in an hour in front of my computer using what we're calling open source intelligence, and I'll explain it later on, than a full year of people in the ground trying to locate information. It's very important to understand that most of the data that we can gather is coming from what we're calling OSINT, open source intelligence. Small part of it will come of what we're calling human intelligence. The open source intelligence is data that we're gathering from looking for it at the web. From ethical places, it's open source, it's public domain. We are not sneaking nor spying on anyone. And human intelligence which is the famous spies are using usually human intelligence, but today human intelligence is only 2% of all the information that we're gathering on a subject, okay? So we will be speaking mostly about what we're calling open source intelligence. And open source, as we stated here, it's legal. In most of the cases, it's free. And it's giving a lot of information, more than a typical person will need. Within this conversation, we're going to be using a lot of terms from the military business, from the military domain, and you will notice that in the future. It will also help you to understand better all the concepts. Okay, some of the points are information before operation. Information before operation, it's something that all of us knows. Before embarking into a mission, we start to gather all the information that we can. I spoke about it. In the business world, we're talking about doing a preliminary market research, a preliminary study of the country, the demographics, the people, etc. We are mapping markets using those tools in the network, in the internet. In some cases, we'll go to the deep web. I prefer not to go there, and we'll use some databases from the web. As I mentioned, we're going to do some human intelligence, meaning I'm going to not activate agents and spies in the field, but I'm going to start talking with people from the industry, to interview people, to interview bloggers, to interview reporters, to interview marketeers, a salesperson, anyone from this domain. Maybe someone in the academy can give me more information as well. And while treating my information, I should be very discreet as well. Like I'm in the army, I will have to keep all the information very close to my chest, well protected, not speak over the phone in the Israeli way with the loud voice, not reveal my passwords to anyone, or use stupid password like test or the word password itself, etc. So those are the basic information we just spoke. I don't want to go too much on it. I mentioned two terms like OSINT and DUMINT, which you understood. The other ones are GeoINT, which is mostly from maps. I will tell you some stories about how can I use mapping to find more information. And SIGINT, which is mostly what we're calling signal intelligence, which we're not using mostly in the normal business arena. Questions so far? No? From you, Sam?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'm always saying it's one of the most important things in intelligence is knowing to ask the correct question. From asking the wrong question, I may end in places that I don't want to go. I may end in the places that they are not so relevant to me. And you can have many experience for that. If I ask myself, for example, why I'm not successful, I'm going to draw myself into depression. But if I ask myself, what should I do in order to be more successful? It's another question. It's leading me to a more correct answer. Okay, so some of the questions should be things like, who are my competitors? How can I map them? How can I do an avatar out of my competitors? What are my competitors' strategies? What markets are they strong and what markets they are weaker than me? What are my vulnerabilities as a company, as a provider? My product, how good is it? I can map also or try to gather information about the roadmap of my competitors. Roadmap is a kind of plan that each company have on the development of their products and future products. So for example, if today, let's take McDonald's, for example, is launching a new product here in Israel. Israel can be for them like a test country, a beta site. And if the test is correct, they'll try to penetrate the same product to other countries with similar demographics. But by now, they should have also the product for 2023 and 2024 that they want to penetrate to the Israeli market with newer products, more innovative. For example, it can be meatless hamburger. It can be, I don't know, gluten-free bread and so on, because they have to see all the time what's going on. And me as a competitor intelligence agent, one of my strengths should be to try to understand what is going to be the roadmap of my competitors. So I can do either one of two things. One, I can go before them to the same segment, to the same markets. Or I can say, okay, if they're going towards youngsters, I try to go to a bit older market segment. If they're going to work mainly on women, I try to focus on men. They're strong in countries that speak Spanish, I'll go to non-Spanish speaking countries. So that's part of my studies as well. And I have to understand who are my potential competitors that are not so clear. We have two terms that usually people are confused with them. We're going to continue with the example of McDonald's. Who is McDonald's competitor? Burger King, of course. Who is Coca-Cola's competitor? Pepsi. But many times we have competitors that is competing not only on the market share, but on what we're calling share of wallet. The share of wallet is a bit more a vague term. Because if I'm hungry, I can go to McDonald's or Burger King, but I can also buy a pizza. I can also go home and cook myself a meal. So the competition is not only the competition in a very strict segment, it can be even wider. Who is the competitor of Netflix? Or were any more ideas?
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, all the streaming companies, right? Wrong answer.
Oh.
You know the competitor?
Amazon.
No.
For TV.
No. Sleeping. Because the strategy of Netflix was to keep you on all the time, and the movies are going one after another in sequence, meaning from one episode to another, without even give you a chance to go and stop for a second. So their worst competitor is not Hulu or Amazon Prime or someone of the other streaming providers, but our sleeping time. So we have to understand that as well. Okay. When we are trying to drive the competitive intelligence car, we have three parts of it. One is to collect the data. And how do we collect data? We're just going to many sites, asking the correct questions in the different search engines. It's not only Google. And we're gathering data. Then we'll find ourselves on the desk with piles of papers, thousands of pages, and we have to sift through all this information. Most of it is irrelevant. We have to analyze it, get the best insight out of it, and do a report, which is a competitive intelligence report. The report will say, in brief words, we identify that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 customer prospects or competitors. Each one of them have a strength in such and such markets. Their weaknesses are 1, 2, 3, and compare our products to theirs. At this stage, we're not giving any insight. We're just giving the information as is. But if we would like to be a smarter one, we should get what we have to convert this document into what we're calling actionable intelligence. The actionable intelligence is not only showing us where to go, but also giving us the strategy how to do it. For example, let's say that I find out that I have a market for just today, a friend of mine sent me an information that she's starting a job in a company that have a small bath for babies. The bath is also heating the water and waiting the baby in the same time. So it's doing like 3 functions in one. So we have to understand which are the segments for this product. We cannot say that any mom can buy it because it's quite an expensive product. It's not good for anyone, but for some type of market. So we have to understand which are the markets, and we have to give some actionable intelligence. For example, it can be in countries from the first, let's penetrate only to countries from the first world, meaning Europe, America, Canada, Australia, Israel, and so on, Japan. We're not going to go to all the countries in the world. And then we can decide, and that's part of the actionable intelligence, if the country have more than, I don't know, 5 million babies per year, we should have over there an exclusive distributor. If this country have more than 50,000 babies per year, we should have a subsidiary. We can have more connection to the country. If we have a subsidiary, we should open also a production facility to produce the bathtubs in the country. So that's what we're calling actionable intelligence. During this process, we are using some tools. One of the tools we're doing is win-loss analysis. We're trying to see which segment are we winning and which segment we are losing to a specific a competitor. Which customers are we going to lose or win if we're going to penetrate to this market? Analyze it and then use the feedback from the prospect themselves. Questions so far? No?
Yeah, just a quick question. So we lost win customer is just evaluating which customers you're going to win or lose depending on the strategy you take. Like that's
yes. For example, let's say that I'm deciding to go on McDonald's on vegetarian products. I'm going to lose some customers that would like to have a non-vegetarian products. If I decide to place in one of my branches of Burger King kosher, I'm going to lose anyone that would like to have ham and cheese with his hamburger. So I have to evaluate if it's a good or bad strategy from my point of view. Okay. You know the BCG, the Boston Consulting Group? Heard about
I
it?
just learned about that last semester at school.
About this model?
They're
Yeah.
the exact same, like the cash cow, everything.
Yeah. Yes. So BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, is one of the three largest consulting firms in the world, together with Bain and McKinsey. And they're developing a lot of models, interesting models. Some of them are more, some of them are less usable in our market. So they built the model that we're calling this dividing companies into or product into four parts. The regular companies are using what we're calling cash cows, which is over here in the bottom. Cash cows are product lines that we're using for many, many years, and they're producing us a nice income. If we're going to McDonald's, for example, a cash cow is the hamburger or the Big Mac, because they're selling the same product again and again and again to many, many products. It's stable, it's giving them a lot of income, and it's practically holding the company. From time to time, they may have what we're calling a star. A star is a product that shines very fast, produces excellent revenues, but may also die within short time. It can convert into a success as well, but that depends on the product. Such product can be the healthy food phenomenon in the world. So it can be a huge booster for sales for McDonald's, but it can also die within short period of time. If I'm, for example, an ad agency, I have my normal customers that are paying me the annual retainers for their services. In a year that they have an election, for example, then for me, it's like a star. It's shining very, very strong. I can contemplate my sales in 1 year. Give me 1 second, please. Hello. היי. מה נשמע? בסדר. מה קורה? כן, מה? כן. אוי אוי אוי. טוב. אוקיי. טוב, בסדר. בסדר, בסדר, אני עם אנשים. נדבר איתך אחרי זה. כן. טוב, ביי. So during the election period, our revenues for the campaigns related to elections is going to be like huge stars for us and produce for us huge revenues. But after that, we'll go back to our normals. Many companies have dogs. Dogs are products or segments that have very little success. And from time to time, just taking from us a lot of attention, managerial attention, a lot of resources without any probability to grow. If we go again to McDonald's, fish. Fish is not a very good product for McDonald's. It's not selling so well, because people prefer not to go to McDonald's for a fish. That's normal. And the fourth portion is the question mark, which are companies we don't know. Maybe it can be a startup, it can be a success, and it can be a failure. Now, when we're analyzing a company or a competitor or a product, we have to analyze it in the view of all those four sections. And if we have over here a dog, a product that we understand that is not going to grow, we should decide what to do with it. Can we convert it into a cash cow? or should we kill him immediately and stop selling this product at all because it's costing us too much to develop this type of product? If we have a cash cow, how can we convert it into a star? If we have a star, how can we make it shine forever and convert it into a cash cow with a higher yield? Okay. We also have what we're calling Johari windows. It's another model, which is also known as known unknown. Did you learn it at school?
I think that I learned it, but it like a different kind of like the same topic, but I think it was a different one.
The model is called by many people known unknown. Okay.
Yeah, I learned something similar to this. I don't know if it was the exact same one.
I'll give you an example. Let's say that I'm a company, I'm operating in a market, I know my market. For example, I'm selling shoes. Okay. I can continue selling shoes and make good money. I can move to a market that I'm not very good at it. I don't know about it too much, but it's not very far away from me. It should be something like, I don't know, boots or sandals. So the transition is quite easy for me. I need some information and I can go for it. From the other hand, I can go to a segment that I don't know so much about it, but it's using some of my skills in the retail market, but it's going to be another product completely. For example, I can sell in my store clothing, not shoes. I have to study what is it going to mean for me. And there is a 4 quadrant that's saying, let's do something that I don't know anything about it. I'll start from fresh. So this is this model is a model for growth strategy. I'll tell you when I'm using it. Let's say that I'm working as a consultant and I'm making good living from consulting on students like you on their career path. Okay? This is the open. I know that if I can bring more students that are interested in creating their career path, I'm going to make good living out of it. But I can shift into non-student and teach them the same stuff. I can go to other topics, for example, work with them on being entrepreneurs. I'm still working with students, student age, but on different topics. So it's going to be easy for me to bring customers because they're the same type of customers. I know where they're present, which sites they are visiting, and so on. It's going to be easy for me. But and over here on 2 and 3, my growth is going to be modest. I'm going to grow above what I have, but the growth is going to be modest. But if I go to the unknown completely, it's a new challenge for me because I'm not going to be dealing with students. I'm not going to be dealing with a career path. I'm going to dealing with different thing at all. So it might be an excellent opportunity for me to go for the future, but it can also kill my business. So I have to create here a mix of products, a mix of activities with some transition that I can cover all the 4 of them without losing my, my market and my focus. SWOT analysis, I'm sure that you learned, all of you, right? Did you learn SWOT analysis, Samuel?
No.
No? First year. SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. And that's the best way for you to analyze a company that you don't understand. You're checking where this company is strong, in which segment, with which type of customers, in which demographies, in which countries, where are the weaknesses in technology, in customer size, in ability to scale up, etc. Where this company present a threat for me? Is it presenting a threat in going to my segments, in going after my customers? Will they have a bigger, better, stronger product than mine? And where are the opportunities? Where are the segments and types of customers that they are not so present? Where are the points that they are weaker than me? Where are the points that they are losing clientele? Which demographics they don't have a understanding? Which languages they didn't did any type of localization to their products? So by analyzing each one of my competitors this way, I can easily identify where can I make more profit. And as I mentioned, this is the information, but the actionable intelligence should be, shall I fight them in their markets or shall I leave them? Shall I go to another segment or shall I continue in this one? Okay, one of the modern way to analyze a business today is called the canvas business model. Maybe some of you learned it at school.
Yeah, I definitely learned it before.
I think it's a bit premature to speak about it with you, so I'm going to leave it just as a model. I'm not going to talk too much on it. In what we did so far, we worked a lot with lead generation funnels or sales funnel. By now, you should have some experience with it. The funnel is a visualization of a model in which we're starting with all the available customers in the top, in the upper part of the funnel. In this part, we're going to place all our customers, all our prospects, good and bad. And then we're going to start qualifying them. The letter that we send to the embassies is a good example on the upper portion of the funnel. We're sending the same email with slight difference to everybody. We're studying who is responding, who is less responding. How can we convert better and how can we convert less? And it's very typical, it's not your problem that the response rate was so bad. Usually when calling to embassies, the response rate is lousy. So in the first letter, they don't understand, they don't know us at all, and we're sending them a teaser. The teaser is saying, listen, you have an opportunity and we can help you identify this opportunity. If they'll convert, we'll provide them more information. If they'll convert, meaning if they'll call us or ask for more information or ask for a meeting, meaning that they are getting warmer. They are in the middle part of the funnel. So we have to provide them much more information and more specific to what they need. Meaning it cannot be the one suit fits all anymore. It has to be custom made for them. If I'm talking with the ambassador of the Philippines, I'm not going to offer him the same offer that I did for the ambassador of Sweden, okay? Because Sweden is exporting different products to Israel. Its demographics is different. It's our first world country, while Philippines is third world country, and the export is basically a raw agriculture product in the case that we're talking today. If one of those embassies will return to us back again, they're going to be in the bottom of the funnel, meaning that they are qualified prospects. Over here, we're going to provide them with all the financial information, not only the technical ones, meaning how much it would cost, what are the chances of making money out of it, what is the return on investment, what are the conditions that we have, who are going to be present there, who is going to be your neighbors in the booth, and so on. And once they'll decide to join the party and join the fair, they're going to become customers. Okay, so in each case of those, the treatment that we're going to give them is different according to what they know and what they can do for us. I mentioned mapping. In mapping, there are many, many ways to identify information that most of the people cannot find normally. Over here, you can see in the center of the map, a wide green area without any settlement, any city, any town, and it's a big, big, big area. What do you think that we have over here? This is Google Maps. Any idea? What's this area here in the middle?
Grass, I don't know, forest.
Grass, forest, okay. What do you think? Okay, so now I'll give you an example. What will happen if I'm going to use another map,
Suburbs.
which is a map of same Google Maps, but it's going to be satellite map. Now we can see that there are not much, a lot of vegetation in this area, and there are some weird road and construction in this area. Can you see it? Now you can notice that also there is an airport here, and there's an airport here. Got it? Those are two military airports. I'll go now to another map, the OpenStreetMap. And OpenStreetMap, I don't know how, can have the ability to locate more information than normal map can do. So over here we can have, remember the airports that we have? One is Tel Nof, here it's marked in a different way. And over here we have another one which is marked differently. And over here we have another military base. And all this area that looks like a large reservation is also marked with some road inside and says it's Air Force Base Sdot Micha, a name of the base. I'm getting now through Google Earth, I can see it a bit better. I can see that there are bunkers over here and bunkers over here. Okay, and now if I go backwards, we can understand that this base, which is a secret base until about 8 years ago, is serving those two bases. According to foreign information, there are some tunnels going from this one to the two airports that can deliver nuclear missiles or nuclear bombs from this large base over here to the other two airports. Okay, but this is information that they cannot see only from one map. I have to do a correlation and sync between different maps. And this is something that we're doing in this type of mapping and using maps in our studies. This is another map, which is a map for travelers, for hikers. And we can see that all this area is marked like pinkish, meaning it's a closed area that the hikers cannot get in. So we understand it's a military base, okay? Questions so far? No? I mentioned in the beginning what we're calling open source intelligence, and I was speaking mostly about working in the internet. We're calling the internet that we're using the one that we have in our computers in very easy to access through Google, for example, or through any browser. It's basically the tip of the iceberg because 9/10 of it is below the surface, what we don't see, what we don't know. This is the deeper web, the dark web, in which we can find many, many other stuff. I am not I'm recommending you not to go into the deep web unless you have specific needs. And even if you're doing it, do it from a separate computer. I can tell you that I have a small computer, then going with it to an internet cafe. It's not connected with any of my accounts. And because I can get exposed very severely to many dangerous malwares, viruses, hackers, whatever. All the junk of the world is located in the deeper level of the dark web. But from time to time, we can see over there many information that it's practically not indexed by Google. For example, email filing, servers that are not located, locked results, some of the less used social networks are present over there with some information, internal databases of schools, colleges, universities, patents, etc. And again, it's very risky to work there, but if you have special tools, you can do it. This is another sample. How can you go down and down and down? The deeper you go, the darker it gets, and you're touching more and more criminal areas. So that's the reason for not touching there. Let me give you, in order to finish this short presentation, some of the sites that we can use in our day-to-day life more and above Google. First of all, we can use Google and we can continue using it, but we have to understand that first, Google is a very large one. It's much larger than we understand. We can use it in certain areas, meaning if I'm looking for an academic document, I shouldn't look for it at the normal Google, but I'll go to Scholar of Google. If I'm looking for flight or for price comparison, I'll go to specific section of Google about it. If I'm looking at France, I should go to google.fr. If I'm looking at Brazil, I should go to google.com.br and I get better results. But if I'm looking for something in China, it's better to go on a Chinese search engine, such as Baidu. If I'm going to Russia, Yandex can give me better results. So we have to look for the correct one. I can use also something like DuckDuckGo, which is another search engine that will not collect any information about myself, meaning that they cannot look for the places that I've been in. I can use a incognito search, meaning a search that does not expose myself toward anyone. While working on demographics in the world, the first place I should go is the CIA fact book. It's over there, very nice information about all the countries in the world, the demographics, the graphics, what they're selling, what they're exporting, what they're importing, the political. So it gives us a very nice picture about the place that we're trying to go to. The World Bank can give us a lot of information on almost all the countries in the world. It's a very well organized and a very credible information. I can get codes for the custom. I can get information about commercial trade in a site called Comtrade of the United Nations. Basically, you can find information on any type of subject that you're looking for. If I'm looking for OECD, I go to statoecd.org. If I'm going for financial, I can go to many market research, and the same with any other topic that I would like to. I think that's about it for this session. I don't want to make you too bored today. Questions? No? Where do you see?
I just have one question.
Sure, please.
Just for the search engines, like, would you be telling us which search engines to use for specific tasks, or should we just figure that out like that?
As a rule of thumb, continue using Google.
Mhm.
Okay, but many times you'll have to look for other places. For example, if I'm looking for pictures, Bing Photos is much better than Google. So I have to take it and play by ear according to the situation that I'm in. And by the time you understand yourself which search engine is better than Google all the time.
Mhm.
In the next presentation, I will show you a bit better on the types of what we're calling advanced Google operators that we can use in order to make us a bit better in Google. Okay? No questions today? So let me please go to my next session via Zoom. You can stay here. We can continue the conversation. Okay, it's going to be something like 15 minutes session. Sam, you can go down from the line. It's okay.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna leave now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we done as well, or?
No, I would like to continue working with you. I just have to take care of this short conversation.
Am I good? Or you want me to continue?
You know what, I can stay with Olivia. You have all the information you need, right?
Okay, sounds good. I'll text you or email you if I need anything.
Please keep in touch.
Yeah,
Send me at least
daily.
daily information about what's going on with you.
Yeah.
מעניינים, אני באוויר, את יכולה לעלות שוב. בסדר. So now I'm going to have a short session with one of my mentees.
Okay.
She has a startup called Radgreen. It's in the field of monitoring indoor air quality.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So what else did you need to talk about with the website? I just feel like I have a general gist of what I think what I might need is like throughout the week we can meet more and have Zoom meetings just so I can make sure I'm on the same page as well.
Okay.
So like tomorrow maybe we can meet midday just to I can share screen.
Late in the afternoon because
Yeah.
I have I'm going to get out of the office tomorrow until like.
Okay, if tomorrow's too busy too, I can do Wednesday as well.
Worse.
Or
Tomorrow.
wait, tomorrow's Monday.
Tomorrow Monday.
But on Tuesday?
Tomorrow Monday afternoon is good.
Okay.
Is it good for you?
Mm-hmm.
Where is she? Presentation.
So what would you like me to do now while we're waiting for
I would like to see what you're doing and if you're on sync with what we spoke about.
So should I make the Excel should I like just work on putting the matrix into Excel for now? So they can do that on the website.
First, find a way if you can convert Excel to weeks in one way or another.
I'll look into it.
And if you can, we will do it.